Hey everyone, just a few quick things before we get started. Don't forget to sign the attendance sheet. It's just real simple. Just ask you 2 questions. Kind of looks like this. But that's pretty much it. Please enjoy. Hope you all learned something.
Okay, hello everybody. In today's video, we're going to go over strings and some function parameters that I didn't quite get a chance to go over in the last functions video. My office hours are up here at the top. If you have any questions, you can email me, stop by, or shoot me a message on Discord. Anyways, let's get started. So the first question I have is, what is the difference between a function with parameters int and signed and int no and signed? So the int with an and sign, this is what we call pass by reference. And you'll understand a little more in the future when we go over something else. But what this means is essentially when you pass a variable and in the function it's an int and sign, it essentially means that you're passing the actual variable into the function. You're not passing a copy of it. You're passing that same function, the same variable from main, and so this will result in however you change it in the function to also change it within main. So this is passes from main into the function and not just a copy of it. Okay, so just the important thing to remember about this is that the variable main will change as well as the variable in the function if you have the and signed. Okay, so what is the output of this code? We have a function called int double plus 1 that takes an int x with an and sign, and then what's inside the function we do x times equals 2 x plus plus, return x. Int main, int x is equal to 5, double plus 1x, calling the function, cout x. So let's start with main. So let's start with main, int x is equal to 5, and then you get calls double plus 1x, and so x, we go up to here, and it takes the x with the and sign, right? So that means whatever we do to x in this function will also change x in main. So we do x times equals 2, which means x is equal to x times 2, so x will now be equal to 10. And then we do x plus plus, which means x is now 11, return x. And so even though it just returns x and like it's not saved anywhere, and then it says cout x, it's going to cout 11 and not x. So even if this was a void and there was no return statement, it would still print out 11. And so that's pretty much it with the function parameters, so let's move on to the strings. It says using cstd lib, how do you convert from a C string to an int and a double? And so this is going to be a toy function. This is used to convert to integer, and then we have a TOF, which is used to convert to a double. And so this is typically just used when you want to convert a direct string, like something like this, and not like a string variable. Essentially, is the difference between a C string and a string. Okay, So the next question is, with string, which function transforms from a string, which function transforms to a string? So we have story and to string. And so if you couldn't guess based off maybe the last question and the names of these, this one will go from string to integer, and this one goes from int or double to string. And the double for instead of story is just std. So the next question I have is this code valid? So we have hashtag include iostream using namespace std, int main, open brackets, string name cout, please enter your name, inline, cn name cout, thank you, name, inline, and return 0. And so I first thought it looks pretty good. It's pretty solid code. But if you think about it a little more, you can actually see it's invalid because we are missing. Oh, sorry. We'll just put invalid, and so we're going to be missing the include string function. If you don't have it, you won't be able to use anything with strings. So if we do include string, then that makes this code valid. Okay. The next question is, how would we get a whole line of text compared to a single word? And the answer is going to be, it's get line, open parentheses, cn, comma, and then variable name, the variable name that you have. And so you can see this is kind of another function located within the string library. But this is how you can get an entire line instead of just a word with compared to cn. And don't forget your semicolon. Right, the next question is, how do we initialize strings? So we initialize strings just like we would any other variable. Data type, variable name, and then equal sign, and set equals whatever you want. But do remember, for strings we do need double quotes, and don't forget your semicolon. Alright. The next question I have is, what is the output of this code? We have include iostream, include string, using namespace std, int main, string a equals cat, string b equals hat. If a is greater than b, cout a is bigger, else cout b is bigger, return 0. So this is a comparison of two strings, and you may be thinking, how do we compare strings? Well, each character in a string has an ASCII code, and it starts, I think A starts at 65, lowercase a starts at 65, and so it goes up from there, so like lowercase b would be 66, and so forth. And so when you compare two strings, they actually compare the total value for the ASCII code, and so the further down the alphabet you get, the bigger your number will be. So since H is further down the alphabet than C, we can see that the output is going to be hat is bigger. And I think capitals are bigger than lowercase. And I think that there's a chart that you can look up, but this is the process of how you would do that. Okay, the next question I have is, how do we add a character to the end of the string? So there's a few ways we can do this. Let's say we had a string called name, okay? And let's say it's equal to this. And let's say I forgot to add an s, right, to my name. So we could do name dot append, and then you could do s, or you could do name plus equals, or name is equal to name plus s. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can use the append function, or you can add it almost as if it was like an integer, but it will just add it onto the end. It won't like change the first part of the string. Okay? The next question is, can you get the character at a certain position within a string? If so, how? So the answer to this will be yes, you can. And there's going to be 2 ways to do this. Let's say we're using the string name again. You can either do name dot at open parentheses the index you want to get the character at, or you can do name bracket the index and then close bracket. And so an important thing to note though here is that strings start at 0. So if we were going back to this string, f would be equal to 0, e would be equal to 1, and r would be equal to 2. So these would both print out in r. Okay. And the last question I have is, how do we find out the length of a string? And so there's a function for this one as well, and it's very simple. You just do name dot length, and that will tell us the length of a string. Okay. And so now I got some practice code. I'm going to open up Online GDB, and so we can take a look at this. Okay, so I have Online GDB all opened up, and so let's get started. The first thing that it says to do is write a code to see if the password entered matches the one on file. So we're going to be doing a string, so the first thing you should do is go up here and add your include. Include string. Okay, so now going down to main. And so if it's matched the one on file, we can just pretend like it's automatically saved. So what we'll do is we'll do string passcode, password, and then we'll set it equal to password 4. And so remember, capital letters and lowercase letters are different characters. So if you compare the two, they will not be equal, and the capital one will be bigger. But you can double check on the ASCII table. I'm pretty sure it's an ASCII, called the ASCII table, but that's how you spell it, like ASCII. Anyways, so now we need to write a code to see if the password entered matches the one on file. So we need to take an input from the user. So I'll just do cout into passcode. Okay, and then cin, we'll take this one that says attempt. We'll name our variable attempt. So we will need a string called attempt. Okay, and so now we need to compare a string with passcode 2. Anytime you even say the word compare or think of it or check, you're always going to run and write an if statement. So we'll do if attempt is equal to password, then let's have it output cout your password was correct, you may enter. And we'll just do an else cout wrong password, try again. Okay, and so let's run it and see if it works. So essentially what we're doing is we need to see if we enter in password 4, if that's going to give us the password correct, and if any other input will give us the passwords incorrect. So I'm going to just enter in my name to test it. Alright, I got wrong password, that's good. I'm going to try it with one other thing. Okay, and now let's try it with the actual password. Okay, so now we can enter in password 4. Alright, so there we go. Our program's working right. Let's see what the next part is. Write a code that takes string ABC and adds on DEF to the string. Then convert the string to an integer. So this is good. I'm going to delete it though because we're done with it. So let's say string start. and we'll set that equal to ABC. And then we need to add DEF onto the string. And so like I said, we can do this multiple ways. You can use the append function, but I'm going to do the plus equals just because I think it's easier. And then we got to add on DEF. Okay, so when I wrote this question, I actually forgot, but you can't actually convert a string of letters to an integer like this. You can only convert a string of integers to an integers, if that makes sense. So we did a cout start to just print the appending of a string, and what we can do now is let's do another string of, and we'll call it num, and we'll set that equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we can do another cout. I'll do num is equal to, and then we can do store here, and if we do num, okay, and then so if you just take this string num like this, but with actual numbers in it, and then cout num equals store num in line. If you run it, it should work. Yeah, okay. So now we can see that the string added together, and num is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you all for making it all the way through this video. Here's a little way of saying thank you.